Good day, everyone. I just finished fixing the LG TV. That was an LG 32-inch TV with this capacitor. You remember this capacitor? And this capacitor. The capacitor were gone and the TV was fluctuating standby light. And what do we have? We have this kind of HP laptop. This is HP 250 G3. Came in as no power. So can you fix this? Power on. It's not doing anything. Let's connect the charger. The power supply. The power supply is set on 19 volts. You can see 19 volts. I'll plug in the charger. Soon as I plug in the charger, the voltage is dropping to 4.9 volts and is taking 3.5 amps, which I believe is not right. Let's take out the battery. Even without the battery, it's taking that current. You can see there's voltage drop to 4.9 volts and is taking 3.5 amps, and that's the max current which I set on this power supply. So what does that mean? That means we have a shorted motherboard. This looks like a shorted motherboard. What do you think? This looks like a shorted motherboard. Let me take my paper. This looks like a shorted motherboard. We have the 19 volts in here. 19 volts V in from the charger. And we have those ceramic capacitors in serial mode and the current sensor. So if when I plug in the charger here, there's voltage drop to 4.9 volts and it's taking 3.5 volts. This is not the current to charge the battery, because even without the battery, it's taking this current 3.5 amps and there's voltage drop to 4.9 volts. I believe we have a shorted main power rail, but I don't think the short is after the current sensor. I think the short is before. Can be after the current sensor, but no, I think the short is here before the current sensor. So we need to get inside this and see if I'm right or not. You know, predictions, they are always good. Like what the doctor said when you go to the hospital, said maybe it's cancer, maybe something. What they say, what the doctor say when you go to the hospital, first he asks you what are you feeling? You explain to the doctor, he gives his own prediction before you do the test. So I think we can do the same. Why not? Why not? I think we can do the same. I need to get inside this motherboard. Why the motherboard is dropping some power? Why there's voltage drop when you plug in the power supply? You know, that is the advantage of using a power supply to diagnose faults. Because in most cases, what is this? In most cases, when you are using the charger, it's hard to identify the problem. Let's check out the motherboard. One more screw here. Oh. I can't see anything. I can't see anything from this end. Huh? Let's plug back the power supply again. I'll plug the power supply. Same issue. Something is getting hot here. Huh? Why? Something is getting hot here. The first MOSFET is getting hot. The second MOSFET is getting hot. That's interesting. Huh? So, diode mode. Let's see if the main 19 volts power line is shorted to ground. Yeah, it is shorted to ground. What's on the current sensor is beeping to ground. On these capacitors, it's beeping to ground. Hmm? So something is shorted to ground on the main 19 volts power line, which is interesting. So let's go under microscope. Let's see on microscope. Let's see. Let's see on microscope. What is here? Hmm? The story is very simple here. The story is very simple. We have this MOSFET 6414, that is the channel N MOSFET. Second MOSFET and the current sensor here, the black thing. And here we have the charging port. So the plus is coming here to this transistor. Here we have two inductors in parallel mode. And it's going to this big MOSFET. Small MOSFET, current sensor. From this point, the voltage is going everywhere. So let's check that MOSFET, the bigger one. This MOSFET is shorted. Huh? What about this? You know what? Let's play with the power supplies. Let's lower the voltage. Let's lower the voltage to 4.4 to 5 volts. 5 volts. And see what is taking that current here. Huh? What is getting hot here? Huh? Let's raise the current. I can't see anything getting hot here. What is getting hot here? What is getting hot? It's taking 4 amps. Let me check on the other side of the motherboard. Oh, I found it. I found it. You know, sometimes visual inspection is very important. Check here. What do you think about this guy? This is some kind of shorted capacitor. Huh? This is some kind of shorted capacitor. Huh? So that is our problem. That is our problem. So let's replace the capacitor. Okay. Let's replace that capacitor quickly. This is some kind of blown up capacitor. The capacitor is gone. The capacitor is out. What I want to do, I need to replace the capacitor. Yeah, hopefully it's a capacitor only. Hopefully it's just a capacitor. Let's replace the capacitor. Capacitor is now in place. The next step is to check for short again. Let's check for short again on this capacitor. It's not shorted. On the input circuit, it's not shorted. Now the main 19 volts power line is shorted. It's not shorted anymore. What about this first MOSFET? Huh? So we have two faults here. Check the first MOSFET. Drain to source. Drain to source is like 0, 0. Source to gate. This MOSFET is not good. Otherwise, maybe the laptop will come on but it won't charge. We have to replace this MOSFET. We have to replace the MOSFET. That is our second fault. This is just a channel N MOSFET. The MOSFET is out. Let's check again the MOSFET. While it is not on the is not connected on the motherboard. Yeah, this MOSFET is shorted. So that is our second fault. The MOSFET is gone. Let me look for another replacement. Another MOSFET. So the MOSFET gas got shorted. Let's replace the MOSFET. Our MOSFET is now in place. I will check again for this MOSFET. I'll check again. Drain to source. This is drain, 4 pins together, drain. Drain to source is not shorted. Gate to source is not shorted. Source to drain is not shorted. So we are good to go. We are good to go. We are good to go. So we have to test this. Let's test and see if all is working fine. So let's see if we have a working laptop here. Let's see. I can't wait to see if this laptop is working or not. I can't wait to see. I can't wait. So these are some kind of jobs which I have on a Monday. Let's connect the speakers. Let's connect the LVDS for the screen ribbon cable. That's the Wi-Fi card. Oh. Now, I think the best way is to connect to the power supply first. So and we have light. You can see this light. We have light. And it's taking 6 milliamps standby current. I'll try to power on this laptop by shorting pins. So first pin to ground. No. Second pin to ground, and the laptop is on. And we have picture. It's working. So that's how you can fix a dead laptop motherboard. That was a shorted capacitor, but on top of that, the first MOSFET was shorted. So otherwise, if I could test without replacing the first MOSFET, the laptop was coming on, probably it was going to be something else on the charging. So it seems to be working fine. So let me put all together and we do the final test. Let's see now. I've put all together and it's taking 153 milliamps power on, 200, 400, 600, and the laptop is loading 700, and the laptop is loading Windows. You see the current just jumped to HP250 G3. The current just jumped to 1.7 amps, and the laptop is working fine. The mouse is not working for the reason which I don't know, but basically maybe it's got some Windows issue. But basically you have seen how you can diagnose and fix a dead laptop motherboard. Everything is working fine here. So I would say just have a nice Monday. Continue fixing things. Laptops, phones, TVs, everything. or their electronic devices. So learning electronics, you should be able to fix anything. So like, subscribe, don't forget to turn on the notification bell for future updates. Also share our videos to your beloved friends and relatives, and see you on the next one. Bye.